Welcome back, folks. I'm Russ Whitney. Welcome to RussWhitneyRealEstate.com, and don't forget Russ Whitney Global, where we teach you entrepreneurship, financing, and so forth as well. I want to welcome my guest, Neil Auricchio, and Neil and I have been out in the field here for the last week, going out for the benefit of all our beginning, intermediate investors, and now advanced investors, because there is a great opportunity right now for you to go out and buy bulk REOs, to buy REOs, short sales. There is an opportunity there, but you need a buyer. The buyer would be the first-time home buyer. Right now, if we run some ads for first-time home buyers, how you can get 97% financing, how you can get the government to give you 30% of your down payment. In other words, Neil's going to explain this in a moment. You can buy a $100,000 piece of property right now and get the government and the state to give you $30,000 of that money for free. Money you never have to pay back. Imagine that if you only had to pay 2/3 right now. So we go out, we buy the properties, we fix them up, we put the new home buyer in them. Folks, we can make $20,000, $30,000 profits on this while we put someone in need into a house right now in this economy and start building this economy. It's up to us to do that, the independent business people. Tell us about the first-time home buyer program, these state grants and these SHOP programs and state housing programs.
Right. Well, you know, it was kind of funny because we were talking about going out there yesterday and kind of getting to know the market down here. And next thing you know, we're talking about that we have a very short time to receive our $8,000 tax credit, which would come from the federal government. And this is for the first-time home buyer. Now, what happens is that down here in Florida, we just happen to come across that the county is actually giving that money to the first-time home buyer up front. So they're getting.
Keep in mind, this is federal money that's given to the counties to distribute locally. So it's not just here, but it's all over the country.
It's all over the country. But what's happening down here in Florida is that the county is actually fronting that money. Right. They're not even getting that money back from the federal government. They're counting on you to get that check 3 months later from the federal government, and then you can pay off your loan to the county.
So this is for first-time home buyer program.
Yeah, this is an interest-free loan for $8,000 that you get up front. So if you're going out there and getting an FHA loan under first-time home buyer program, and you would normally need 3%, on a $100,000 home, you would need $4,000, and this $4,000 is covered by this tax credit. It's just absolutely amazing. That's number one. Also, if you live in the home for 15 years, they're giving $30,000, Russ. $30,000 for the person who's a first-time home buyer who lives in that home for 30 years. Now, that's interest-free.
Keep it in mind that first-time home buyer doesn't mean it has to be your first home or a first home.
Right.
There are people who've been in homes before if they haven't had them for a certain amount of time. But what we're appealing to right now or talk to is the investor, how you can go out and buy some properties and you've got an automatic buyer and you can get them the money. So what we teach you how to do is solve the problem and make it easy for a first-time home buyer to get into that property where you can make $20,000, $30,000 profit just like that.
Right. And, you know, the great thing is about like that $30,000. Once you receive that, if you pay back that $30,000, if you move after a year or 2 years, all you have to do is give that money back, the balance. It's forgiven a certain percentage per year. And at the end of the 15 years, you owe zero. But if you move after 5 years, you only pay off the balance, and that's a 0% interest. Mm-hmm. So then after, let's just say 5 years, you may only owe $12,000, and that $12,000 you'd have to pay out of the proceeds of your profit on your sale, which is phenomenal. The other thing is that FHA for the first time. I mean, I've been dealing with FHA for years, right? So for the first-time home buyer program. And you normally would have to live in that home for 6 months, mm-hmm. and then you can rent out your home. And this is actually FHA guidelines. This isn't coming from me. So you can live in that home and then rent that home out. And if you rent that home out, that's considered a business. So you can actually buy another home. You're a first-time home buyer because it's for yourself. Now, if you have a home on the mountain and a home over by the ocean, then of course it doesn't count.
So this is a chance for somebody who's just getting started to get into maybe a duplex.
Yeah, that's right.
And get that thing started, rent it out, then you can re-qualify for first time, perfectly legitimate, legal, ethical, moral. You can qualify for another first-time homebuyer program. So I just want to make this point. Stay tuned here to RussWhitneyRealEstate.com because you're going to get lots of this great information. But if you want to really advance your chances of success, What I'd suggest you do is either go to RussWhitneyRealEstate.com and inquire, or call our advisor hotline, which is right on RussWhitneyRealEstate.com, and ask about our Millionaire Mastery Program. And that's where you can come down and you can spend 3 days with us, where we're going to actually make phone calls. We're going to take you into the field. You're going to come to my offices where we'll train together. And actually, Russ Whitney will be at these beginning trainings. So if you register and can get into some of the initial trainings, I'll be there to actually work with you. Neil will be there to work with you. Plus, we have a cadre of other Power Team members. So we're going to make phone calls. We're going to go out into the field. We're going to make offers on property. In fact, we'll buy cash flow properties. And if you're interested and you want to be an owner of one of those cash flow properties, you are welcome to have them, or else we'll take them for ourselves. We always offer them to you. We don't want to be greedy, but we're going out and making deals. You might as well, be part of that. And I got to tell you something, that Neil and I and some of our other Power Team members here at RussWhitneyRealEstate.com have been talking about a new program called the Newest Real Estate Millionaire. And you're going to be seeing a lot of this coming. It's like the American Idol, but the Newest Real Estate Millionaire. We're going to be choosing some select people to attend some of these trainings for a new reality show that we have coming up. And folks, we're going to make real estate millionaires all across the country. So you stay tuned right here to Russ Whitney, Real Estate Millionaire. And you know what? What I would suggest you do is get on the hotline right now, that advisor line, and call and see if you can get into one of these initial trainings. They're very, very exciting and very profitable. Thanks for tuning in.